وسير الحياة الطبيعية، ونقول للجميع سلامتكم أولويتنا.
Dear viewers, as regional tensions continue to evolve, the role of technology, particularly artificial intelligence, has become increasingly central in shaping modern conflicts. Today's challenges extend beyond the battlefield, reaching into the digital space, where information, perception, and public awareness are constantly being influenced. In Kuwait, national institutions are closely monitoring the digital landscape, working to counter misinformation, enhance cyber awareness, and ensure that accurate information reaches the public in a timely manner. These efforts are essential in maintaining stability, strengthening trust, and safeguarding society against emerging digital threats. To shed more light on how artificial intelligence is influencing the current situation and how communities can stay informed and protected in this rapidly changing environment, we are joined by our studio guest, Salah Al-Najm, Professor of Computational Linguistics and Natural Language Processing at Kuwait University. Welcome. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time. And Eid Mubarak. Can I ask you first, how can big data analytics can be used for proactive crisis management and to prevent the spread of misinformation and rumors?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Just the correction, Salah Al-Najm.
Al-Najm.
Yes, please. Thank you. First of all, I'm thankful for having me in this interview. May God save Kuwait, its Emir, its people, and everyone who lives on its land. When we talk about AI and the role of AI in detection, rumors, detection, misinformation, disinformation, we are talking about science, technology, and political aspects. So now we hear the term political data science, which is a merge between data science and politics. So politics is not just political analysis alone anymore. Now we use technology to support the political decision, to support the political analysis. And here we see that the technology, and mainly AI and natural language processing and big data analytics, can play a useful role in allowing governments to check for specific trends in the community or during specific events. So what is trending now during a period of let us say war or any economic or social events? Who is leading the trend? Who is leading the narratives? How we can benefit from the influencers who are participating in this momentum to, let us say, drive this momentum towards what benefits us. Also, according to the reports published by international organizations like the World Economic Forum recently, within maybe for around 1 month, they published the Global Risk Report, which is a report talking about the risks that impact the economies in the world. Misinformation and disinformation was risk number 2 in the near term or the short term, which is 2 years, among 33 risks. So it's a huge risk. According to the report, on the long term, which is 10 years, misinformation and disinformation is the 4th risk. So we have to be careful that misinformation, disinformation can affect the society, can derive more chaos on social media, which also affect people, affect their perception of the news, the political decision.
This is exactly why me and our colleagues here at Kuwait Television, we always insist on telling people to not spread misinformation, because during these times specifically, it really is a matter of life and death.
Yes, exactly. And if I ask you, what is the best place to spread rumors and misinformation, what is your answer?
During these times, it's social media.
Great, great. Social media. Okay. Social media is everywhere and with everyone. So WhatsApp is a kind of social media. X is a social media application. Instagram, other tools and platforms are being used heavily by people to spread information, to spread videos, photos. But should I believe any photo I find on the social media or any video I see on the social media? There are specific tools that can be used to verify if this video is real or if it is fake. So I think here we need to teach people, give them awareness how to verify if a piece of news, a post, a video, or an image is real or fake. Okay? Because according to my experience and with the use of AI and with the use of big data analytics, many of the trends that we identify are based on fake videos or fake images and sometimes fake posts. So a fake post spreads as a piece of news, trusted news, and this also affects the way we handle it. And when we talk about how to handle these kinds of activities, we talk about proactive crisis management. There are two ways to deal with a crisis. Either to deal with it in a reactive manner or a proactive manner. Proactive manner means that you deal with it before the impact spreads, before the impact becomes non-curable. Okay. The reactive is once the disaster happens, I deal with the impact of the disaster. Okay.
But it is also possible to still mitigate as like even if it was a reactive response, yes, it is still possible to have less repercussions.
Yes,
and it doesn't have to be always proactive.
Yes, yes. When you deal with these kinds of disasters proactively, this means that you can identify and detect the risk or the disaster before it happens, because there are signs, there are patterns. If you recognize specific patterns, if you identify specific anomalies, you can say that there is a high probability that a disaster will happen. And here you become proactive. Yeah. And this is what we talk about when we say proactive crisis management on social media. There are tools, there are technologies, which gives you the insights, the flags, the patterns that tells you that, okay, now you need to move before this route of disaster becomes a real disaster. Yes.
Building up on that, how can the government improve communication strategies on social media, which is a double-edged sword, to enhance public engagement and build trust?
Yes. We need to use social media as a kind of enabler for governments, because the social media is not just a tool to spread news or spread some kinds of notifications to people. Social media is based on interactivity. So accounts, social media accounts used by governmental agencies should be interactive with people. They need to respond to their questions. Not all of their questions, not all of their comments, but
appease their questions,
yeah,
appease the mind.
Yes, yes, because, you know, if you deal with people on social media, if you become proactive in answering questions or answering concerns, these concerns will not grow to become a disaster. Okay, so here we are also talk about the AI tools, the big data tools, the natural language management, natural language processing tools like sentiment analysis. We use tools to analyze the sentiment of people about their sentiment regarding specific events, policies. So I can understand the public sentiment within a specific time range, so that I can predict that this will create a disaster or not. Also, I need to understand how people think about their political attitude regarding specific events. Also, this can be understood from social media analysis. So AI, and mainly through using generative AI, using AI agents, we can create these kinds of applications which work with social media, with the news spread on the web, also with the videos, with the photos, so that we can tell the people that this is a fake piece of news, this is a fake video, this is a fake photo.
But actually, this is a good point, because I want to build up on that with my next questions. We've seen viral posts about the attacks and disruptions that happened in Kuwait and in the Gulf region. How can we determine whether these are organic rumors or a part of a coordinated digital operation? Because warfare is not only with the physical munitions, it is actually also digital in this time and age.
Yes, there are two ways to identify and deal with these kinds of news or media pieces. When we talk about dealing with fake videos or fake photos or text which is talking about something unreal, organization-wise or organizational-wise, like governments and agencies, there are some advanced tools that can be used to utilize AI, big data analytics, to understand those rumors, those misinformation pieces of news. But this is maybe not our context here. But for the public, how they can judge that this video is real or not real, or this photo is real or not real, or this post contains text which I should believe or I should not believe. For videos, you know the deep fake technology now, which allows you to create a video which is faked and can be seen as a real video. There are tools available you can use to verify the video. For example, if you get or see any kind of post which contains a video, and you want to verify that the video in this post is real or not, you can go to a tool like Deepware, for example. Deepware is one of the tools available. You copy the URL of the post, for example, you paste it, or you upload the video, and Deepware, and there are other similar applications, not just Deepware, they use AI to check for patterns, to check for anomalies in the frames of that video, to check if there are any kind of biological evidences that telling that there is something fake. They also focus on lip sync to see, is this person talking actually, or is this an avatar created by generative AI, for example, or if the character is talking in a way, but the sound is synchronized in a different way. This is for videos. And these types of applications like Deepware, they can give you a kind of probabilistic analysis that this video is, there is a high probability that this video is fake. Okay. Also, for photos, there are other tools like AI Light. AI Light is also an image detector which checks for also anomalies in the pixels, checks for specific patterns in the light, in the metadata of the picture or the image, to give you a probability index that this image is fake, or there is a high probability that this image is fake. For text, like a post, I want to check this piece of news or this post is talking about a subject. I want to know, is this subject genuine? Is it real? So there are ways. The simplest of is using Grok, for example. Copy the content of the piece of news to Grok, or ask Grok directly, is this real? if you are using X.
Here's the thing: not everyone. I'm thinking, for example, about my parents, our parents, our elderly loved ones. They're just as susceptible to these kind of generated media as much as children, for example. But children, to some extent, are a little bit more tech savvy, and they're not going to be as much rigorous when it comes to watching the news, for example. So what are possible simple methods or mental cognitive tools that we can, for example, share with our loved ones who are not so tech savvy, so they can keep themselves safe? For example, for me, is if it doesn't come from official sources, then it's most probably fake. If it's not, probably, or if it wasn't mentioned, if an official source didn't respond in regards to these images, then it is most probably fake. Do you have any other indications that could be possible?
Yes, there are simpler tools that can be used. For example, the simplest one is to reverse search. If there is a picture or an image that you think that this is not real, you can search for it in Google. If you could find it in a specific date, which is previous date, this means that this is not a recent picture. Okay, this is simple. You can check for who reposted this piece of news. If there is any flag on X platform, for example, they use some kind of crowd verification. They put flags also on the piece of news that this is a kind of misinformation. So check for these flags. As I mentioned, on X, ask Grok, which is simple. Ask Grok who posted this at the first time. Is the account who posted this news? Is it verified? What people are talking about this, or what people said about this piece of news? Is this piece of news there is high probability that this is a fake news or not fake news? Grok can give you a simple indicator, and it doesn't need any kind of using tools. Grok is built in within X platform, for example. So
basically use AI tools to figure out indications of other AI-generated
media. Because Grok is based on a large language model, AI, which uses artificial intelligence to check for patterns, to check for the language used. So Grok is one of them, okay? And also, as you mentioned, there is the common sense. Is this piece of news supported by evidences from official sources? Search within the social media platform or within the web. Get the text, put the text, and check. Did Kona talk about it? Did the official news channel talk about it?
Yes.
Did they deny it? Is there any kind of information that saying that this is a fake piece of news? So this is a common sense, okay? So you can search for these kinds of information even without using specific platforms or applications or even asking Grok. Yes.
I would like to excuse ourselves from the conversation regarding AI tools and fake news and all of that. And I want to dabble into global energy markets, and they are facing increasing pressure amid ongoing regional tensions, particularly in the Gulf, a region that plays a critical role in supplying oil and gas to the world. Now, as regional tensions linked to the current crisis, we move back into our studio guest, Mr. Salah. And I wanted to ask, in real terms, how can misinformation during this period directly impact public behavior and security on the ground? Because since the beginning of the crisis, or in any crisis actually, people, as soon as they hear any sort of information, they have that little, I want to get the first scoop of information. What does that impact?
Yes, when we talk about misinformation and disinformation, we talk about misinformation, disinformation spread intentionally, which is a kind of weapon that can be used by other powers. So Yes, misinformation or rumors can be used to put some pressure on the public to act in a specific way. For example, I want to create chaos here in the society. Okay, so I put some piece of information, some videos, some rumors that there is a shortage in food. There is an issue in electricity. Or there is a disastrous event in one of the facilities or main facilities in Kuwait. So people will react. How they will react? It's a kind of chain reaction. Okay.
It's a snowball.
Yeah, snowball. Yes. I repost my friends repost and comment or something like this. It will create a narrative, and the narrative will grow to create a trend.
And then actions.
Yes,
people,
and the trend the trend is followed by actions. So we need to be careful as governments, as media outlets, to kill the rumor, to kill the piece of misinformation as soon as we can. Because if the rumor spreads for a longer time, it becomes a fact. Okay? Even if we deny later, the impact of denying later will not be useful for us, because the rumor became a kind of a factual thing that we need to deal with. So yes, rumors, misinformation can affect the behavior of people, can also create a kind of catalyst for others to create more misinformation piece of content. So you know that if I say something, after an hour, this piece of information I provided will be changed to a larger or a wider narrative. Okay, then this will grow to a wider narrative. And then when we reach the trend stage, in this case, we may find ourselves with a disaster. And this is why we talked at the beginning about proactive crisis management. Why should we monitor social media to check if there are specific topics that are appearing on the landscape? Here we talk about something called topic extraction, using AI and natural language processing. We use specific tools, even with some organizations here in Kuwait, to detect topics. What are the topics that derive the narratives? What is the sentiment deriving the narrative? So that we can get the insights, we can get the patterns that allow us to take an immediate decision, or maybe to give a specific message. Sometimes the cure will be within our range. We provide the fact. Providing the fact will kill this kind of misinformation. So at least if we could provide the facts in a timely manner, and with the use of AI detection tools, with AI agents, with natural language processing, big data analytics tools, we can deal with these kinds of misinformation and disinformation activities in a timely manner to stop the disaster from becoming, or stop the anomaly in the data or the misinformation in the data to become a narrative, then becoming a trend, then becoming a disaster.
A very more specific one we can use as an example is obviously food security during the crisis. The first thing that people are afraid of, alongside the fact that the Strait of Hormuz is closed and the crisis is escalating, not de-escalating, people are always worried about how much food they will be able to keep, good, healthy food. And as soon as these kind of rumors spread of people showing co-op and supermarkets empty of a product, even though it was just because it was during the reloading or deloading of these things. Yes, sadly, people literally just created unnecessary panic. Thus, the governments came and reassured us of the structural intact strategic stockpile of food that we have. We have enough poultry, we have enough water, we have enough sugar, we have enough flour, we have enough of everything. Thankfully, we are in a country that feeds and nurtures the poor as much as it does its own citizens and residents.
Exactly, and this is where the interactivity in the accounts of governmental organizations. If the accounts of social media, if the social media accounts used by the governmental organizations are interactive and they deal directly with people, in this case, if someone talks about a specific piece of news or a specific rumor, and he or she mentions the account of a specific governmental organization, interactivity means that since that user mentioned us with a piece of information which is not real, I directly answer this guy. If I answer this guy or this lady and tell him
I
that,
killed the rumor.
yeah, this is not true.
There's
yeah,
no, yes,
and,
exactly.
this is not true because 1, 2, 3, 4. It will kill the rumor directly. So this is why we talk about interaction rate. This is an index used in social media analytics. Interaction rate. The accounts of the social media accounts of the governmental organizations should have a high interaction rate, and especially in these times, because interaction means that I listen, I react, I give you the information that you need to ignore this misinformation and disinformation piece of news.
Well, moving on from food security and misinformation and such, but it's still relevant. Today, hybrid warfare is increasingly seen as more of a modern technological war than a purely military one. As I stated earlier, the enemy forces or the other parties are also deploying these kind of tactics regarding hybrid warfare using technology, social media, our own social media against us and such. How is that?
When we talk about warfare, we are not talking about actual weapons. Okay, actual weapons is part of the equation, but now we are talking about cyber attacks, intentional cyber attacks that affect the infrastructure, or affect the sources of information, or affect the governmental services. For example, distributed denial of service attacks. A specific organization or a specific group attacks a specific government to stop their e-services provided to the public, okay, or to stop their website or application from working because they are handling or putting some kind of distributed denial of service attacks on this organization. And this is one of the simplest in terms of warfare, one of the simplest methods used in electronic warfare. And sometimes this is the beginning of the electronic warfare. So this is a way, attacks on e-services, on websites.
So would the beginning be the rumors, or would it be the cyber attacks?
Now we are talking about actual cyber attacks, intentional cyber warfare, cyber attacks.
Yes.
So they make the distributed denial of service attacks. The servers stop. The services stop. If a website of a governmental organization stops, this will create chaos, especially if it is used by the public daily or for specific services that they need for their life. So this means that this is a kind of warfare. Another type of warfare is social media and misinformation. And this is more advanced. Denial of service attacks, I'm telling you that this is the simplest, because there are tools that can be used for this, and it's something easily
This
done.
is more advanced because it involves the human psyche.
Yes,
because you're not just attacking.
Exactly. You are attacking the human mind, and the human mind, or something sometimes it's called the human factor, is the weakest link, because when you attack the human mind, even if you have the strongest countermeasures in terms of cybersecurity, if you attack the human mind, you will bypass all this. Okay, especially when we use something called social engineering. I give you information, or I would deal with you as a human being to convince you that I'm someone who is trying to benefit you or to give you information that you don't know. But in fact, I'm planting information which is misinformation and disinformation to be spread by other people. Also, now we are talking about generative AI, and we are talking about agentic AI. Agents work in parallel, and those agents can be used to create social media accounts which appear as humans. So you may face accounts which are pretending to be human accounts, but in fact those are AI agents.
There is actually the theory that the dead internet theory, I think, which is that the internet right now is actually consistent of more bots, AI bots, than real humans.
Thank you. One of the main challenges that are facing social media analysts now is to distinguish between a genuine post and a post created by a bot or an agent, an AI agent. Now with generative AI allows the agent, the AI agent, to create content similar to the way that people are creating. And now there are agents which are programmed to create content, to send comments, and to comment on news, and to comment on other posts, and to interact with other accounts, and give information similar to what people are doing. So now with AI agents, using large language models and generative AI, now we are going beyond the normal bots. Maybe before 5 years, we were talking about bots or botnets that retweet, make likes, spread information, report spams for specific accounts. Now we are going into another dimension. We are using now, or people are using now, AI agents which work in parallel to pretend that they are humans. And this makes detecting those AI agents more difficult than bots.
Much trickier.
Now, if you tell me, is it more difficult to detect AI agent than detecting a bot? I tell you, yes.
Bots are a bit more, I'm not going to say binary, but like AI agents have been anthropomologized. Like they have that human element, sadly.
Yes,
That
yes.
they really do mimic human
Yes,
nature
yes,
so well.
yes.
Bots is just like
retweeting,
A for
create,
B,
yeah,
A for
yes,
B,
and sometimes
exactly.
they create the same repetitive task again and again and again without any kind of change in the content.
Exactly.
But
So you
for
can
AI,
catch,
yeah, for
you
AI
can catch
agents,
the
they
cycle.
change the content. They even respond. For example, if I'm an AI agent, I send a post. Someone asks me a question. I send a reply with a new content. And maybe when I repost this post, I repost with different content using large language models and generative AI. So are we entering the age of AI agents in terms of using AI agents to spread rumors and misinformation? I tell you, emphatic yes.
Well, today we see artificial intelligence being used as a weapon of manipulation and deception through the dissemination of rumors and fake videos that appear genuine with the aim of distorting facts and manipulating minds. How can we avoid such manipulation? We're speaking individually first and foremost, obviously, because the war starts with the individual,
Yes.
and thus later on with the government.
Yes. Individually, first of all, we need to use our common sense. Okay. If someone sends me a link on WhatsApp, for example, I have to be careful not to click on any URL or link sent by WhatsApp. At least let us talk about WhatsApp. Because many of the threats now affecting people are the links that sent by social media and mainly by WhatsApp, which are being used to plant spyware, to affect my information or the privacy of my information. So don't click on any link sent to you by a foreigner, by someone you don't know. Even if you receive a link from a legitimate entity, like, for example, I'm working at Kuwait University, a link sent by Kuwait University. And I found this link suspicious. And it's Kuwait University, from Kuwait University number, or even through email, from Kuwait University email address. So I received it even through email, not just WhatsApp. I called the university. I asked the university, did you send this? Sometimes it is a kind of phishing attack. Phishing attack is an attack which uses the weakest link, which is the human mind, using social engineering. I send you an email, or I send you a post which pretends to be an official post or an official email with the logo and everything. And I tell you, okay, please click on this to provide us with more information. Even the banks are telling us not to respond to this kinds of...
the postal service.
The postal service,
I've actually
yes.
been once, I've received a scam email or like a criminal email. It was from my own email address, and it was actually very convincing, very convincing.
Yes.
I was so shocked that I was like, no, there is something wrong. I need to go online and search it up. And apparently there's something, I don't remember the exact terminology, but apparently these people, these criminals, these digital cyber criminals, they use a specific method to copy the email address that everything looks the same, that you think that you sent it from your own address.
And this is why we use the common sense. When you receive an email, you have to check the header of the email, to check from where this email has been sent. Sometimes it appears like your email, but when you go inside the details of the email sending, you will find some kinds of change in the URL, something like this. So double check that the domain which is used by the link is a legitimate domain. Okay, is it under an SSL certificate, a kind of encryption certificate, which starts with HTTPS? Yes.
If it's asking for unnecessary extra funds.
Yes, if it is asking about funds, if it is asking about entering your bank account details, about a PIN number. And also, this is one of the tools used by criminals during the electronic warfare. So they send these kinds of links. They send these kinds of,
because harming the country's people, the citizens and residents, it harms their own morale, and thus they feel weaker, and thus it would make it easier for them.
And as I said, using the weakest link, which is the human factor. And also, we need to make sure that we update our devices, our smartphones, our computers to the latest updates of the operating system, because this will give us more security layers. Use specific security applications that are available for mobiles, for Mac OS, for Windows, for any kind of operating system. Use specific applications, programs for keeping your device secure. So, okay, update your operating system, but use security software. Also, as I mentioned earlier about using those tools to check about if this video is fake or not, if this image is fake or not. There are tools which can search in the metadata of the photo to tell you that this is fake or not. These are all available, and many of them are free. Also, use AI. Use ChatGPT, use Claude, use Grok to ask questions about a specific piece of information that you think it is not true. Even if you receive a URL using Google Drive, for example, download this document. Even if it is stored on Google Drive, there is a kind of risk that, there is some kind of hidden cybersecurity threat